Welcome to today's featured problem. It is MC47. I've written down a few of the key notes from the problem. Please read along. Set up a guess and check table. Write an equation. Matt and Paul went on a fishing trip and caught 31 fish. That's if you add up all of their fish together. Matt caught one less than 3 times as many fish as Paul caught. How many did each boy catch? All right, even though we're working at not using guess and check tables, sometimes setting up a guess and check table actually shows you what the equation is. Let me show you what I mean. If Matt caught one less than 3 times as many as Paul, which sounds real confusing to read, it sounds like I need to guess Paul first to figure out how many Matt caught. So I'm going to go ahead and set up our table. Okay. Now if I guess Paul, and then my keywords here are 1 less than 3 times. So if we have Paul, if I use the letter P as a variable, and I take Matt and I say Matt caught, use the equal sign for the word caught, 3 times as many fish as Paul, or 3 times Paul, and 1 less minus 1. So I can take the words from the story and change it into an algebra equation comparing Matt to Paul. Okay, so this is me calculating Matt for my guess and check table. Then when I have that, I just want to add Paul plus Matt, and then I'm going to check against 31 because the problem tells me that together they caught 31. So I've set up the guess and check table, and at this point I could go ahead and start guessing, or I could go ahead and write an equation to show this. So here's how we do this. We have Paul plus Matt equals 31. Right? Together they caught 31 fish. Now since I know from the equation, from the guess and check table up here, that Matt equals 3 times Paul minus 1, I'm going to take this and I'm going to substitute it right there. So now instead of Paul plus Matt, it's going to be Paul plus 3 times Paul minus 1. Because that is what Matt equals. When I add those two quantities, I will get 31. Now we'll combine like terms, which means I'm going to put the numbers together. I'm going to put the letters together when they're the same. So I have 3 Pauls and another one, so I have 4 minus 1 equals 31. Now I'm going to use inverse operations. Why? Because I want variable on one side and number on the other side. So I'm going to keep doing things until that happens. First I need to add 1 to both sides. Why? Because a positive 1 creates a neutral field with this negative 1, giving me a 0 over here. And when I add that 1 to 31, I get 32 on that side. I'm almost there. I have 4 P on one side, or 4 Pauls. I need to divide that, so I only have 1. So I'm going to divide that by 4. If you remember, that's the giant 1. But I need to do this to both sides. Remember, when you do this stuff, do it to both sides. That keeps your scale balanced, like we've talked about in class. That means Paul caught 8 fish. Now, since I know Matt equals 3 Pauls minus 1, and I know that Paul equals 8, I can go 3 times 8 minus 1, which is 24 minus 1, which is 23 fish. Now I could celebrate right now because I have answers, but I want to check and make sure my answers are correct. So we go back to our original equation. Paul plus Matt equals 31. Paul is 8, Matt is 23, and that is true. That's called a proof, and we're done. So to review what happened here, we have a story problem. We're asked to set up a guess and check table. We do that by setting up the guess and check table. We're able to write expressions comparing the two things in the problem, and then we just skip that and come right down here by substituting, combining like terms, and using inverse operations until we have a variable on one side and a number on the other side. We get the answer, and then do the proof. Make sure your answer is correct. That's all.